Prof, you have lived in the Western, and when we say West, that was the real West, because Germany has been a superpower, from time immemorial. And I have this question because you mentioned the aspect of parenting in Germany, meaning that you are very present in your children's life as a doctor and as a candidate. Some people might not even have that time for family, but from what you have said, I know that you are a family man. I relate with you, so I know you're a family man. I want to ask, sir, if you compare parenting abroad and parenting in Nigeria, at least you have seen both sides of the divide, because from what you said, after 6 years abroad, you moved back to Nigeria and you have been parenting. What will you say about parenting in both places? Is it the same, or are there differences? Is it easier to parent, to raise children in Nigeria than Europe, or what? I'm saying this because we are the ones that we have two parts. We travel abroad. For someone who is a German right now, I wouldn't say Germish, who is German, that's their country, that's all they know. So they will raise their children in their culture. I want you to use your experience now, because I'm in America, for example, my children are here. There are a lot of Nigerians, millions of them abroad, whose children are with them. But you know that those are not our original countries, even though many of us still naturalize in these other countries and become citizens. But we are still have, in fact, when they want to call us, they'll say German Nigerian, Nigerian American, British Nigerian. So parenting, we that have this situation of being here and being there, being exposed to the Western world, how is it parenting both ways?
Well, both of them have their advantages and their disadvantages. There's one thing I appreciate with parenting in Germany, whereby you don't beat your children. By not beating the children, you understand, it makes the children not to tell lies, because they have nothing to lose and they are not afraid. There's no consequence.
Wow. I've never seen it that way.
There's no consequence for telling the truth. If you say, are you the one that put this in there? If you say, yes, I'm the one that put it there, he will say, because you cannot beat him. So there's no reason to lie. What makes people lie is a defense mechanism, whereby you want to try and escape punishment.
Wow.
So that culture of not beating their children makes their children, from our observation, to be more truthful and more sincere, because it will own up and there's no consequence. Right. And when you are not able to tell lie, if you are good at telling lie, a lot of other things goes with it. Unlike in Nigeria, whereby we beat our children, you understand? And the first thing, if the child do something wrong, you say, who do the first thing is to deny it, because you want to escape punishment. So that's one thing I appreciate in their culture.
Right.
But then in their parenting, the negative aspect of it is that the children, once they get to the age of 18, they go away.
Yeah, they leave home. They have to go to college.
They have to go from college. They don't have to take care of you when you grow up. They put you in old people's home.
Okay, that's what you mean. Because as adults, they have to leave home now. But what you are saying is that they now put the parents in old people's home.
Yes. Unlike here, where the children, they are made to, we bring up our children in a way to know that you cannot just go. You always have to remember where you come from. You cannot just leave your parents. You understand? You still have to look back and take care of your parents. Here, that's the culture here. You bring up your children is the way that you know that, you still have parents to take care of when you grow up.
I have a question right there, sir. Because in my channel, I have a video I made on don't make your children your retirement plan. Because some African parents have this mentality that, which is a right in a way, but some of these things have changed now that we are not living in a village or a small setting, that they will have as many children as possible. In those days, the reason for many people having high number of children is, like in Yoruba, they will say, we don't know the child that will pay back. We don't know the one that will have that good mind to be supportive. Then another thing is that there are parents who actually invest in their children. Let me even say, like, they parent their children, they do normal things that parents should do, send them to school and everything, with the hope that in their old age, it is the child by rights. It's the child that they are waiting for the child.
That's the wrong idea. That's very wrong.
I'm not saying, let me put a clause here, that children should not support them. As a matter of fact, every good child should support parents in old age. But the way the parents structure their life is that they have put all their hopes, all their plans, everything on these children. It gets so bad that some parents curse their children out when those children don't look back. I'm not saying children should be mean. I'm only saying that shouldn't people, as they are raising their children, also put something aside and remember themselves in old age, just in case. What do you say to that?
You see, it's absolutely wrong to make your children your retirement plan. It's absolutely wrong because you put them under undue pressure. You put them under undue pressure, and if they are not, if financially, if they end up struggling financially, then it makes it worse for them.
Where the parents still have entitlement mentality, and the child is suffering.
No. That's very, very wrong, and it can push these children to crime and to some other vices because they'll be desperate for money to take care of their children. When I say that your children should take care of it doesn't mean money. You understand? Just checking on you understand, checking on your welfare, money it has nothing to do with money. You understand? Even if you have money, you understand, you still want your children, you still want them to visit you, check on you, understand, look back and make you happy. You understand? You want to see your children, you want to see your grandchildren. That's what I mean. But when you now want to make your children your retirement benefits, you are putting undue pressure on them.
Right.
Because they also have their own life to live. They have his own wife and children to take care of. You understand? You shouldn't be a liability to them. You should even be able to support them. You understand? Even when they are still working, you can still be a source of benefit to them and helping them to stand financially. Not that you should not be a burden to them. That's very wrong.
We also add that children themselves as well, because these kind of interviews, they are kind of informal communication, because people learn most of the time. Influences, when we talk about influences things that just come your way or you come their way, you stumble on, and sometimes people form opinions based on what they hear and what happens around them, or what they see others do and what they hear consistently. Some children are also negligent, and they are very lavish, very ostentatious, very loud, and they actually have it. But we have seen cases of public figures who are showy. I use the word showy right now. They like to be noticed all over, the social media and even in real life before social media. And then their parents that took care of them are languishing somewhere. What do you say about such people who just want to impress, and they are not even kind? These are parents that actually were present in their life. I'm not talking of deadbeat parents or spam donors. Parents of them, and there are some children here that even the token to support their parents at home, even though things. What do you say about children also circling back to support their parents? Is this something children should consider doing?
So if as a child, a lot of things also depend on upbringing. Yes, upbringing and parenting, like you have rightly said. The Bible said that train up your child in the way he should go, and when he grow up, he will not depart from it.
Right.
A lot of it depends on upbringing, even though it's also possible, for you to bring up your child properly, but along the line, it makes up with bad friends, bad influence, you understand? And that can make that child to derail completely, you understand? Right. Part of the parenting is to also educate your children about the influence, possible influence of bad communication or mixing with bad people. It's very, very wrong and unfortunate if as a child, you are not able to help your parents if there is a need. You should be able to help them. Not only your parents, your siblings too. your neighbors, not to now talk of your parents.
Right.
You understand? Yeah. If you are comfortable and your neighbors are not comfortable, you understand? I think it is one of our great leaders that said that the rich man cannot sleep because the poor man is hungry.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as somebody, if you are comfortable and your neighbors need help, you should be able to help them, not to even talk of your parents.
Absolutely. I agree with you, sir. At the same time, as Africans, as much as we are very communal and very supportive, we also should deal with the issue of entitlement mentality and black tax, where people want to reap where they did not sow, where they want to give you guilt trip for not being able to carry community problem where you have not finished solving your own, and when they think, because that's a very, very huge thing. That black tax is, even to siblings, it's just good. When you are good, but the system sometimes can make you feel under immense pressure. Many people who get in Western world, it's not about themselves, what they will eat or what they will feed on, but it actually has to do with pressure because of the way our society is structured. Even people that are external to you, who don't know your situation, they have not spoken to you in years, they don't know your bank balance, they don't know the work you do. The only thing is that your only crime is that you cross the border to another country and they feel that you are picking money on the floor. You give money to people and they'll be like, they already know the exchange rate of the dollar and the pound and the euro and the lira and every currency all over the world. And they will now look at the amount of money and be like, okay, how much is he giving me? Some people don't even say thank you. And they think if you have this money, as if you should give everything you have to one person, where you have 10 people, 20 people dragging your shirt, needing help. So we need to also draw a line on that. Let me give you like 30 seconds to talk about that. Do you feel it also in Nigeria, where people have this entitlement mentality and what is called black tax? Black tax is that your father raised you, you have to raise all your children. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. It depends on the family structure and usually puts people under burden. And then sometimes, just because you are the successful one, even though they are not eating you and they are hungry, they just feel entitled that because you have it, they need to take part of it. They are not seeing it as something that should be your own initiative if you want to do it. What do you say to that? Being someone who's
you are the one that must strike a balance as a man, and it's also depend on culture. I don't think we have that.
The pressure is real, sir. From outside.
The what?
The pressure is real. You said it's somebody that will determine that thing by himself.
Yes, you are the one that will not give it. You understand? You are the one that will resist the pressure. You understand? Because your survival is very, very important. You have to strike a balance. You understand? You don't have to kill yourself to satisfy anybody. The only person that needed to die to satisfy us is Jesus Christ, and he has done that. If you not choose to do that, it's a vain. You just sacrifice yourself in vain. Now, there's a culture, there's a tribe in Nigeria. I don't want to mention the tribe so that it won't look somehow. They have a culture that you only need to train the first child. Once you train the first child, then you will train the other children. And they do it religiously.
Wow.
They do it religiously, and it's a setback. It causes setback. Because even when you are still working, you understand, by the time you become a graduate, you still have about 5 or 6 children, and until they also graduate before you can make progress in your life. You understand? That's not a good culture. And I don't think anybody, I don't subscribe to that. You only do what you can afford. You don't sacrifice yourself. You don't sacrifice your happiness. You don't sacrifice your life. You should know the boundary. That this is what I can afford. If it's more than that, I cannot afford it. There are some people that if you give them $100, you understand? They will say, for this man to give me $100, he must have millions. He must have millions. They will know that $100 you have given is a big sacrifice. It may even be your last cover.
Sacrifice.
But they will rationalize that for this man to give me $100, at least, probably he has $200 million.
Wow.
The tendency is there.
Right.
So you just do your best and leave the rest. You don't have to sacrifice yourself. You don't have to sacrifice your own life to please anybody. You do what you can do. If you cannot do it, you forget it.
Do your best and leave the rest. Thank you,
And
Professor.
leave the rest. You don't live your life to please anybody.